Good evening, Shocker families. My name is Alicia Newell, and I have a phenomenal program planned for you tonight. Tonight, we're talking about your Shockers finances. So, if this is the first time you are tuning in to one of our Shocker Family Table Talks, let me share a little bit about what the process and purpose of our table talks include. And as we look at the onboarding of our students, we really want to make sure that we're taking time to connect with our families and be very intentional in providing that additional support that you and your student will need as you get ready for this next academic year. And so we know that many of our families may have not been able to attend new student orientation with their student. And so this is just an alternative in order to bring our experts to you to share their expertise and knowledge regarding some of our topics that our families have a lot of questions about. And so I have been inundated with messages and just from our families about what do I need to know and do about my student fee bills have hit their accounts. And so, with them being in their accounts, there's a lot of questions about how do I interpret and read my student's fee bill? What about my student's financial aid? I'm getting these messages. I'm not really certain to what we qualify for. And so, tonight we're going to take time by inviting Miss Jane Bowie, who is our manager for financial aid and student impact, to join us to talk about what that process looks like for financial aid and things your students should have completed. And then also how to go in and view and accept either grants, loans, whatever that may look like on the financial aid student service side. And then we have Mr. Ryan Lofink, who serves as the interim director for our accounts receivable office. And I like to to talk to you about how to set up a payment plan, how to go about paying your student fee bills. What does that proxy look like so that you as a parent can get in and review the fee bill? And so talk a lot more in depth about that. But before we jump in, I also have my partner in crime here with me. You all know Miss Kim Sandlin, who serves as our Director of Student Success. And she and I partnered together on this program because it's really a perfect blend of making sure that our families see that we work together collaboratively across campus, and making sure that from the moment our students step foot onto campus, from orientation all the way through to graduation, we are partnering together not only with colleagues across campus, but with you as families to make sure that you're getting the support and go ahead and jump in. And I'm going to ask Kim if you want to introduce yourself, say a little bit more about your area, and then we'll throw it over to Jane to get us started.
Sure. Good evening, everybody. Nice to be back. I was on vacation, so I was not able to join the last two. So sorry about that. It's kind of one of those sorry, not sorry kinds of things. But back to talk about one of probably the hottest topics among our families, which is certainly paying for college. Tonight, you're going to get great information. I'll let you all decide who's on what side of this, kind of a this or that. It's these folks are both located on the second floor of Jardine Hall, and one gives you money and one takes your money. And so, well, you'll figure out who does what here over the course of the evening. But yeah, this is the time when bills are hitting and there are questions and confusion, and that is normal. So if you are confused by what you are seeing, that's normal, especially for our first time families who haven't been through this process before. So it's okay. It takes a couple of times to kind of think through it, and you'll probably review some of the information covered tonight a little bit later, just to kind of walk through, what do you say about that? Or what did she say about that scholarship? Or, that kind of thing. So don't, worry if you're feeling overwhelmed right now. Again, perfectly normal, especially for our families of first generation students who really haven't really been through this process before, or you're sending your first kiddo to college too. So it's a big process. I know Alicia and I have talked about this. We're getting ready to send our now high school rising seniors. And I'm like, oh, I got to start paying attention to all of that now because it all now applies to me. And so I'm glad to have our two experts here tonight. So I'm going to throw it over to Jang to let her get everyone started as we talk about.
All right, thank you, Kim, and thank you, Alicia. Hi, everyone. My name is Jan Tu. I serve as the Manager of Student Impact in the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships. I'm also a first-gen student, and really, I am a proud Shocker alum as well. So I've been through this process. I am seeing students every day, and we're here for you. College is a big investment, and we're ready for you, and we're here to help you make these next steps and really create your college financial plan. And so today, like Kim said, we're the office that really helps you and gives money and helping you understand those finances. So for your Shocker's finances, on the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we do in our office. So in the Office of Financial Aid and Scholarships, we are committed to investing in your students' success. Next slide, please. There we go. So yes, we are ready for helping you. We do this through specialized advising. Our advisors, we have 5 advisors in our office. They are amazing and ready to build these connections with your student and families on anything that might be happening in their financial changes, any challenges that they may have with this and understanding finances, and really helping them create a personal plan to pay for college. We also help complete the FAFSA every year. The FAFSA is a really important first step that I'm going to talk about here in the next slide, that we're making sure that your family is getting prepared and having all the information that we need to determine your financial aid. We also help with scholarship support and helping your student understand loans, how much to take out, repayment of loans as well. And we also have Shocker Financial Wellness. And so not only are we giving money, we're helping your students understand money as well. So we do a lot of different workshops throughout the year, as well as peer-to-peer financial coaching. So with the first step to unlock every dollar at Wichita State University is to complete the FAFSA form. Right now, the 2024-25 FAFSA form is open. So if you haven't done that yet, make sure you get this step done. If you're having trouble with it, please come to our office. We are available in person and virtually as well. We know that the new form has been different, but it's also been a great process to really help support more students and provide more financial aid. Every year, you should plan on completing this form. In a typical year, this will open up on October 1st. So we're hoping for the 25-26 FAFSA, that's going to open up on October 1st. That's our goal. That's hopefully what we'll hear back. But we'll also make sure that we're letting your students know when that will happen. And so we're always providing outreach on that. We'll post on our social media when that will open, and we'll provide some workshops and dates on that as well. You also want to pay attention to the WSU priority dates. The earlier you do it, the better. And so on the next slide is the second step. So once we receive your FAFSA, we're able to evaluate it, make sure it looks good. Once it looks good, then your student will receive their financial aid offer. So every new student will receive a paper letter of their financial aid offer. And then all the following years after that, it will be on their financial aid dashboard. What I really want to highlight on this slide is the cost of attendance. The cost of attendance usually causes some confusion because it's a larger amount, and we want you to understand that it's really just an estimate of your students' educational expenses for their period of enrollment for that term or that school year. It establishes our average costs in different categories to help them and help us determine their student financial need. In the next slide, I break up these categories. And so the categories go from tuition and fees and food and housing. So with tuition and fees, that is going to be payable to the university. But also, if you are living on campus, food and housing is also part of that. But if your student is living off campus, we also want to make sure that food and housing is part of your cost of attendance, because that's still something that they are paying for outside of us, but that won't be billable to Wichita State University. Rather, it's simply just in our budget to make sure that we're having everything as part of their college expenses. That also goes the same for books and supplies, as that will vary. Some classes at the university offer books at a lower cost and as part of the student's bill as it's offered, but I know that some students can also choose to opt out of that if you prefer different options instead. Along with personal and transportation, again, that is not billable to Wichita State University, but we want to add that into the budget to make sure that we are accounting for everything that the student may be spending on in their college years. The next slide. So once everything is going to live and breathe in our financial aid dashboard. So the financial aid dashboard is found in your student's MyWC portal under the My Finances tab. So we'll send all of our information about your financial aid award offer, your financial aid history, different resources. Everything is going to live in the financial aid dashboard. Now, I want you to pay attention under student requirements. If your student is selected for any reason, maybe for verification, or maybe we're missing some documents from them or missing some steps from them, they need to get these unsatisfied requirements complete, and they actually can click into it, and that gives them some steps on what to do and how to access those forms. And so once everything is satisfied, then your student will be able to receive their financial aid to their account around 10 days prior to the start of the semester. So we want to make sure that if there's anything unsatisfied right now, you want to get that done before August or as soon as possible, because we want everything to be good to go once financial aid is ready to disperse. All right, next slide. So once you're in the financial aid dashboard, it kind of looks like this. I wanted to provide an example of the offer tab. So your student does need to take action on a few things. Some scholarships and grants will be automatically accepted for the student, but there's some that they do need to go in and either accept it, decline it. If they want to take out any loans, they will be able to accept that or modify it, as well as decline it. The deadline to accept fall loans is December 10th. So they do have a while if they want to think about it, maybe have it there just for emergencies or anything like that, and then they can make their decision throughout the school year. Next slide. And then for additional resources for parents, if the financial aid offer does not cover all the net costs, you still have a balance in your account, there's also Federal Direct Parent Plus loans available, as well as alternative loans as well. And then we always encourage students to apply for scholarships. The more you apply, the better. It's free money. It's there for students. Every year on November 1st, our new and continuing student scholarships opens up. So for the 25-26 school year, that's going to open up on November 1st for our shockers. They'll go on to the Scholarship Universe platform, and they'll answer as many questions as possible about them, and it will match them to different institutional scholarships as well as external scholarships. And usually the deadline for this will be February 1st of 2025 for this next school year. But external scholarships are still available on the platform. So as they're getting ready for school, if there's time in their day, encourage them to just log in, look at those external scholarships that they're matched with, because it is vetted through our platform, so it's safe, and have them apply to that. And so the application for that will link them to a separate website to apply for. And I always like to say that it's a true partnership between all of us, between the family, FAFSA, which the state. It's important to balance your costs with personal, federal, and college contributions. And we know that the FAFSA does not reflect all of your family's finances because it does ask for information from 2 years prior. If there has been any major changes in your finances, whether that's loss of income or any different medical bills, please come talk to our office. We have different processes that is available to help you and your family. Other parent and guardian reminders, we want to make sure that you, if you would like specific information about your student's account, you must have proxy. That's different from what Ryan might talk about, but with an authorized user. We want to make sure that you have proxy on file before we can share any information about your student's financial aid. And for most of the time, we'll send email notifications to students. Some of the things that we may require will only live on the financial aid dashboard because it's confidential. So just making sure that your student is staying up to date with their email, making sure we have the right phone number on file as well, and just encouraging them to speak up, talk to our office about their financial challenges. We're here to help them, but also with financial literacy too. They're here for the first time. Maybe they're getting a job, or they're having different friendships. So we want to make sure that we're here to help them understand the balance of everything and that paying for college is possible. I do want to highlight some priority dates and deadlines. Early August is when your financial aid will be applied. So right now you might see a bill, but your financial aid will not be dispersed until around 10 days prior to the start of the semester. And again, your student must have everything satisfied in order for that financial aid to be dispersed. Other important dates is August 30th. That's the last day to make payment plans, which Ryan will talk about, and also is the 100% refund date. If your student is thinking of withdrawing from any classes even throughout the semester, please make sure they talk to our office first before they withdraw. It could impact some of their financial aid or maybe any scholarships they're receiving. We want to make sure that they're talking to us before they decide to withdraw from any classes. And this is how they can connect with our peer financial coaches. So our coaches are still working throughout the summer and throughout the semester. And so they can sign up through this QR code and really visit us during our Shocker Financial Wellness workshops. These are come and go workshops that are provided throughout the semester for students to learn about different topics like budgeting 101. Maybe they are planning to live off campus their second year. What does that look like? We bring in community experts. We bring in different apartment folks just to help them learn how to budget and prepare for those steps, as well as scholarship tips too. And a great benefit of attending these workshops, if they attend 3 out of 5 workshops, they'll be entered into a raffle for a spring 25 tuition scholarship. And this is how you can connect with us. We have a 24/7 phone line. Follow us on social media. We're always posting of different student stories, different deadlines that are important, and just any events that are coming up. And I'm happy to answer any questions that I may have missed during the presentation.
Perfect. So Jane will be on with us throughout the remaining part of our answer some questions. I think we lost Ryan for a second, who's our next presenter. And so some of the questions that came up, and also if there's other questions that you have out there for our family specifically related to financial aid, feel free to put those in the chat. One of the questions that did come in is, do we have to accept the full amount of the loans that were offered?
No, you do not. You can decline the full amount, or if you do need some loans for your expenses to cover different costs, you can modify that. And so you can change the amount that you want to borrow.
Okay. And then another one was, what is the GPA requirement for my student scholarship?
I think you broke up for a little bit. What's the GPA requirement for student scholarships?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Is
so
there a specific GPA requirement for scholarship?
it depends on the scholarship. So merit scholarships, those are at least a 3.0 GPA, but there are different scholarships out there depending on different departments and what they're looking for. Some departments maybe just a 2.5 GPA, so it really just ranges. So if your student is looking at applying for scholarships and really wanting to be the best applicant, we always like to say, let's focus on what you're doing, because there's a lot of different GPAs out there, a lot of high GPAs, but where are you putting your time in? Like what types of organizations, where you're working, things like that.
Okay. So another question that came in is that, but the student gets a scholarship, will that money stay on the account until next year?
Again, it does vary. So if it is a renewable scholarships will remain on their account if they are meeting all the scholarship requirements. Sometimes it might be just a one-time scholarship, and that's different. But if it's renewable, and they can contact us and connect with our office so we can look at what type of scholarships they have and what the guidelines are.
Perfect. Another question from Alexis is, have all college scholarships already been awarded? Of how many have applied for, they've not received notification. And so what happens if they are out there applying? Should they follow up with the colleges? What's your recommendation?
Yeah, that's a great question. Even though we oversee the Scholarship Universe platform, we partner with many different offices across campus, many different departments. Saying like the College of Engineering, they have their specific scholarships that are on Scholarship Universe. So yes, you can follow up with different departments on it. That would be a great way to connect with them, connect with their scholarship coordinator.
Perfect. And then another one is regarding merit-based scholarships. And so I know like some of our students, they are sending final transcripts after, July 1 because they maybe graduated later, different cycles. And so will that impact their merit scholarship if that came in late?
Yeah, we're reviewing all the transcripts throughout the whole summer. So if you're late, that's okay. We still have you in the system. We want to make sure that your student is getting what they're offered. So as long as you're getting that into us, hopefully by August, that's what we're looking at.
Perfect. All right. So Jane's going to hang on with us. So if you have additional questions, mathematically just threw one back in about what scholarships are still available for incoming freshmen. They didn't know about the November one. And so again, going back to that Scholarship Universe website that was previously shared, you can also access that through the financial aid website. And on that is going to be a listing of scholarships that will still be available. And it's great just to, I think, check back like periodically, right? To see what's available because things are either being added or removed on that list. But also an ongoing list of just deadlines for students to apply for in the future. So please continue to put in questions. I have time to move over to Mr. Ryan Loffink, who is going to talk to us about the big question. How do I pay my bill? More importantly, how do I read my bill and set up any payment plans, things of that nature related to that? I've had a lot of parents saying, hey, we've not gotten a bill for my student. Ryan, will parents get the bill or is it going straight to the student? He's going to let us know. So I'm going to turn it over to Ryan, who's going to share more information with us about the student fee bill process and what that looks like.
Thank you, Alicia. Good evening. My name's Ryan Lofink. I'm currently fighting a little bit of a cold, so I got a little bit of a scratchy voice here. I have been with Wichita State a little over 7 years now, all in accounts receivable. I've been in this current position the last 4 or 5 months, and so that's kind of my past history with WSU. It's always exciting, always new stuff happening. So what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to kind of walk you through our website and then also the student account suite, so everybody kind of sees what all the ins and outs of billing, and try to answer all the questions that you might have, i.e. Authorized user, the payment plans, what you're seeing there, how do you pull down bills, when we bill, can you get an itemized statement, a lot of that stuff. So we'll try to walk through all that tonight. And again, if I don't cover it, please ask a question at the end. So let me get this up and running here. We'll get my screen shared. As you noticed, make sure everybody can see that. As you notice there at the end of Jang's stuff, she had the website. It was wichita.edu /financial aid. So we use a lot of short URLs around here. And for us, if you're wanting to look at the AR stuff or student accounts, it's wichita.edu /AR. And that'll bring you right to us without having to do all the longhand accounts _ receivable services, all that stuff in the website. So this is our web page right here. You can see our section menu across the top: students, departments, and then safekeeping, which are student groups. For parents, mainly you're going to want this tab right here: students, current and upcoming or prospective students. If you click that, it's going to take you to this website. And so what we've tried to do over the past several years here is take all the questions we get and build them into knowledge base articles. And I assume that this has been talked about with other groups, and kind of the knowledge base that you can go out there and you can type in. It's like almost like a Google for Wichita State answers, and you can Google it and it'll bring back stuff departments have put out there for information for students. So we link to that right off the bat, and it says this searching for an answer link. So if I click on that, this is something we'd always drive you to look at early on if you do have a question. So say if you want to know how to make a payment, you can just type in here how to make a payment, and it's going to pull back anything that comes up. So what are the payment deadlines? How do I make a payment online? Anything like that. And what we've done is we've created all these step-by-step guides, so it should be quite easy to follow and walk you through with screenshots. So if you're wanting to make a payment online, this is one of them. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 steps. Very straightforward, very easy to follow, stuff like that. If you're wanting to look at, say you want to be an authorized user, you can type in that. Any word will get you there. How can I set up an authorized user to make a payment on my account? That, for parents, is the main one for you guys. You want all the information that we're going to give out. So if your student sets you up as an authorized user, and I'll back up here real quick. There's 2 different things. One is a proxy, and that's what Jang, and then I think if you've talked to the registrar and other offices on campus, they use the proxy system, and that's based off of our database reporting and the Banner system. And so everybody uses that proxy. Unfortunately, Banner doesn't do a great job of delivering student billing statements and taking payments. So we use a third-party software called TouchNet. And within TouchNet, what we have is called an authorized user. And what we would ask is your students set you up as an authorized user to move forward. And I'll kind of show you a couple steps about that later, but that's what we want to see happen is you get set up as an authorized user, so then you get all the same communications that your student gets from this office. We'll back out here, but it just kind of recap that knowledge base. If you do have questions about anything, we would definitely ask you to go there first. Hopefully we've got it answered out there for you. And you can access that anytime 24/7. So whether we're in the office or not, hopefully you've got an answer there. This next this next one right here, the students make a payment, that is going to link the student directly to their MyWSU portal. So for parents, not a lot going on there. It's just going to take the student right there so they can log into their MyWSU. This is the actual payment portal for login portal for parents, and we'll cover that a little bit later, kind of when we go into more in-depth stuff in the student account or the student account suite and things like that. And the final one I really want to make a point on here is the important dates. So what we do is we try to keep important dates for each of the upcoming semesters. So quickly, we'll move spring out of here and we'll update that with spring 2025. We're currently in summer 2024, and then you have fall 2024. So we're going to look at that one because that's the upcoming one. That's the one you guys want to see. This has all of the different financial dates that you need to be aware of. Okay. So right now, due to the way we assess fees, we're not able to get the fees out any sooner to you. And that is based on the fact that our fee schedule doesn't get approved by KBOR until the very end of June. And then at that time period, we have fiscal year end. And so we're essentially locked out of our systems till that final couple days of June. And that's when we can get in, just begin building all the new fee rules for the upcoming fall semester. So that's why you don't usually see anything fee wise until mid-July, and that's usually the date we try to hit is sometime early into July. And so if you're logging onto your account like right now, like Alicia mentioned, you do see the fees out there. We assessed I believe last Friday. So you'll see some different dates on here that are 100% refunds. So we try to keep up on, I'll say, the heavier course load stuff. So if your student enrolled in a pre-session course, in a first 8-week course, the full semester course is a 16-week course. And then we have a second 8-week course. We have the dates out here that your student has to drop that course if they don't want to be charged. So if they enrolled right now and it's a full term course, you need to drop that course by August 30th. Okay. And that way the system will refund the tuition and fees that you have been charged. Okay. If you do it after August 30th, you're going to still be charged the full amount for that course. Okay. So those are dates that as a parent, you probably want to keep kind of keep on top of if your student is adding and dropping courses or wanting to swap stuff around. Okay. The other one I'll make a point of here is financial aid. If you're looking at your student's account right now, financial aid has not been dispersed to your student's account. That will happen the beginning of the week of the 14th. So I believe it is, I'll really quick check here for you. You should probably see that around Saturday, August 10th is when disbursement's going to happen. And then at that point, you'll see all the financial aid package that you've accepted, everything that Jane was talking about. If you got loans, scholarships, all that stuff, it will then be applied to your student's account. You'll see it on there. If you do have an excess and you're expecting money back or like a refund check, that's when we'll start processing all of those refunds and stuff like that. So that doesn't happen until right around the beginning of classes. Okay. Right now we advertise August 15th. If you do not set up direct deposit. So direct deposit is one of those things that we do offer, and I'll show you that in the student account suite here. And we'd advise that if you're expecting excess aid, set up direct deposit rather than wait for us to mail a check. Direct deposit is so much faster, so much quicker, and a lot more secure than us mailing a check, where you're going to get the direct deposit in right around 3 to 5 business days. The check is going to take somewhere from 7 to 10, and then you got to deposit in your bank account. It takes quite a bit longer. So direct deposit is the way to go there. The last thing that I'm going to mention here is we do have a deadline, August 30th. That is the last day to either be set up on a payment plan, which I'll talk about here in a minute, or have your balance due paid in full. Okay. If you have neither of those, so you have a balance due over $150 and you have not set that up on a payment plan, come, I believe it's September 3rd, you will be assessed a late fee of $100. Okay. There is always in the full semester, so fall and spring, we assess late fees twice, once at the beginning and once at the end. So for the fall, you'll notice down here, your final payment due date is the 15th. And if you don't have your entire bill paid by then, you will get another late fee assessed on the 18th. Okay. While we're here, you'll notice that all of our payment deadlines. So if you do set yourself up on a payment plan, they're all the 15th of each month. So September 15th, October 15th, November 15th. All right. And I'll jump into that a little bit later too. So what we'll do here is I'll talk about authorized user for you. So once your student makes you an authorized user, this is your login portal. You can bookmark this, you can save it, you can do whatever you do whatever you want to. This is where you can come to log in. All right. And so it's a really quick, simple process. This is what your student account suite is going to look like. Okay. Your student one is going to look exactly like yours. All right. So in terms of your student setting you up as an authorized user, we want to stay here. This is the landing page. All they got to do is come over here, click authorized users, and you're looking at my stuff right now. I set myself up in our test environment and enrolled myself, so everything. They're going to click add authorized user. They're going to punch in your email address. They can customize what level of access you have. I would advise just giving you all of it, because you're going to want the 1098 tax statement. You're going to want the billing statements. You're probably going to want payment history and then any payment plan stuff. Okay. We don't utilize one card right now. So that when you log in, you won't see that. All right. So that's all it is. They punch in your email address, hit continue. You will get an email with a link and a temporary password, and you'll just have to set up your account. And then there you go. You're up and running. Once you log in, you will see the same thing here that they see. In the middle of the page, you can see the actual balance due. This is a live number. So if your student adds and drops classes, because at WSU, we fee assess based on the course. So say your student is taking English 101, and then they switch into accounting 201, there's going to be a difference in course fees and department fees. So then you're going to see this balance change when that assessment or when that change happens, as long as you're within the refund period. If you're outside the refund period, it's going to fee assess you the higher course. So you're going to see an additional fee go on there, and it's not going to refund you the difference for the course you dropped. All right. And if you want to, you can drill into this number by clicking on it. And you can get, basically you can see every semester that you've been involved in here. And then it gives you a summary of each of the fees. Okay. So you can see what your tuition is, student support services, the mandatory fees that are on your account, which is the campus infrastructure. You can see the different course fees. So engineering, if you're taking an engineering course, each one of their courses has a $96 per credit hour fee. So if I'm in a 3 credit hour course, I'm being charged $291 for that. Same with liberal arts. They have a course fee. So you do see all that. And then if you have individual, so these are individual courses. So my biology course has an individual flat $50 fee. My art foundation course has a fee associated with it. All right. So it breaks it down. You can see all of that. There's my Barton School of Business program fee. And that is live. So you can look at that anytime. if you expand these, the way our system works is if I was to drop a course, add a course, drop a course, add a course, you're going to see these line items. So you're going to see T101. It's going to add tuition. It's going to drop tuition. It's going to add tuition, drop tuition. You're going to see all that activity in here. All right. So when you expand it, that's what you're going to get. If you keep it up here like this, you're going to get a high level summary view. Okay. We'll back up here and we'll talk about payment plans here. So right now, currently, Wichita State during the fall semester and during any ongoing semester, we offer a 3-month payment plan. Okay, so for the fall, if you sign up for it, it's going to break out your balance due, all right, into 3 monthly payments that are going to be due September 15th, October 15th, November 15th. All right, and then you can do that. It depends a number of ways too. Each account's unique, so I won't go into too many details regarding this. But basically, if you're getting financial aid, once the financial aid is dispersed to your account, you can use that, and it will adjust based on your financial aid, if that makes sense. So if you wanted to say use all of your financial aid and make a big payment on November 15th, you can set it up that way. If you wanted to do it the opposite way and use your financial aid and then have it break out your payments over three equal payments over the 3 months, you can set it up that way as well. So there's a couple different ways of doing it, kind of depending on how you would like to do it with your finances. And if you do have questions regarding that, I'd always ask you to give us a call. I'll show you our contact details here at the end, or visit us online, send us an email. We can definitely help you kind of navigate what numbers to put in where, if you do get in there and get confused regarding it. So the other thing I will mention about a payment plan is it's quite easy to set up. You're just going to walk through, you're going to click payment plans, click enroll now. And the only term out there is going to be fall 2024. It does require a $130 down payment. Okay, $100 of that goes towards your tuition and fees, so it's nothing extra. The $30 is the extra fee amount that you will be paying. All right. If you do get financial aid on your account, once the financial aid hits your account, the computer will look at the financial aid and count that as your $130 down payment. So then you can set up the payment plan at that point, and you don't have to pay any money. All right. Let me see, check my notes here, see if there's anything else we need to cover. In terms of billing, we issue billing statements on the 20th, right around the 20th of each month. So this month we're going to issue it on Friday the 19th. You won't get another billing statement until after bills are due August 30th. Then you'll get a billing statement on September 20th, October 20th, as we continue through the semester. You will see those right here in this section. And if your student has made you an authorized user, you get a notification every time we send out a billing statement. So you get it and your student gets it as well. And this is irregardless if you have a balance or not. If you have a $0 balance due, you're still going to get a billing statement, and it's just going to tell you in the body of the billing statement, this is just for notification purposes only. Your balance due is 0. Okay. But those are always just pictures in time. So when we send this initial one, it's a picture as of July 19th. If your student adds classes, drops classes, does any changes on their schedule, there's a good chance that you're going to have a different amount due. And so you always want to log back into your portal and have a look at this live balance due. Okay. That's one thing that we do want to make sure that everybody knows, that when we send out a statement, you're just getting the picture in time. And I think we see it a lot. Parents get the picture in time, and then once the student enrolls, drops classes, does stuff, or moves their courses around, it always changes the bill, and the parent sometimes is not aware of that. So I would always say log back into your portal here and check it. Okay.
A lot of really great advice, Ryan, and information. We have questions that are coming in. I know that you're looking to see if there's anything else that may need to be shared. But I wanted to get a jump start on some of these questions for you,
Yes.
Ryan, just to make sure that we have enough time. And so, can you share with us? John had asked, and maybe this is kind of like both a Jane and Ryan question in one, but how does work study affect the payment side of things since they are earned over the semester and not paid by the August 30th payment? So, what
So I can
what
answer
is
that.
financial aid and then also payments?
Yeah, I can go ahead and answer federal work study. So that's an option that's offered to students. It really is for students to find a federal work study job on campus. There's different job fairs to help you find those jobs as well. So if you're seeing those funds, it's not like you're actually receiving those funds. You have to actually get the federal work study job first. Now, once you do land a federal work study job, the student will be paid just like they're getting paid a paycheck. But what happens with that amount is that you're seeing is that that's kind of like their budget, that 75% of their paycheck really comes from the federal government. And then the rest of the paycheck comes from the department. So it's a benefit for departments, but it's also a benefit for students because it doesn't go against your student aid index. It doesn't hurt you on your FAFSA. So as you're making this money to help you pay for school or other expenses, it doesn't go against your FAFSA information for the following years.
Let me ask a clarifying question. So it doesn't really affect the bill paying part of it, right? Because this is kind of a separate, you qualify for it, you find a job and you're paid by a paycheck and it doesn't affect your bill.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Yes, you would need to pay. Wichita State doesn't transfer across. Wichita State, you will get the money and then you'll have to pay it into us.
Yeah.
Correct.
I mean, we'll get it eventually, right? But yeah. I got you. I think, and poor Alicia is freezing up on us a little bit. So I'm going to jump in here and get some questions here. I think you answered this, Ryan. Is there a set length of the payment plans? Those are really 3 payments over the course of the semester. So it's all within one semester and 3 payments. And if they need something else, they come and visit with you. Or if they're worried about that, what might they do?
Yes, we do. So for the current semester, we do offer a 3-month payment plan. If you do have a balance due after that 3 months, we do offer an additional payment plan, but that's not something that is available to you until after the semester's over. Okay. So we do have other options available, but we don't like to advertise those as they're based on the state of Kansas. And so if the state of Kansas says, no, you're not able to offer that, we can, unfortunately. So it all kind of comes down to the state.
Sure. Good deal. And Lisa has a great question. Can credit cards be used on the payment plans?
Correct. Yes, they can. We, sorry, I should have mentioned that. We can take, in the portal there, we can take credit debit cards. Now, if you use any type of plastic, it's going to charge you a convenience fee of 2.95%. All right. If you use your bank number and routing number and do an electronic check, that is free. Okay. So we would much rather prefer that you use the check, be free. Nobody has any fees. And one of our mottos here is online, not inline. So we've tried to do everything so you don't have to come in here in the heat. I know it's hot out there, and in August, it's going to be even hotter. Or in January when it's, 10 degrees below zero and it's icy. So hopefully we've got everything online and different ways to interact with you there, so you don't have to come into the office.
Okay. Our next question from Alexis. If we make multiple payments and overpay the current month due, does that extra amount apply to the next payment?
So in terms of your student account, it's all one bucket. So your housing, your meals, your tuition fees, it's all in one thing. Okay. So if you overpay that payment and you owe something for the next payment, it's going to apply to that. Now, if you overpay your entire account, say you owe let's say $3,000 and you pay us $5,000, there's going to be a $2,000 credit on your account. Okay. Now, we don't want to have that happen. Okay. Wichita State is not a bank. All right. So please don't overpay your account and then expect to have that money set on your account until for a future semester's charges. Okay. We're not FDIC insured. So, God forbid something happens to the state of Kansas, you may be out that money. So just pay us what you owe us, please.
Yeah. Or at least if you overpay, make the adjustment the next time. I can see where that might come into play. Like maybe at the beginning of the year, you have a little bit more and you're budgeting out, and maybe you're saving a little bit for Christmas and you want to back, those kind of things happen. Yep. But yeah, great advice to not, overpay and then expect, oh, I'm good for, a couple months or 3 months or something. So
yes, we always say, hey, if from my perspective, since we're a state of Kansas institution, any money we take, we have to send it to the state. And so keep the money yourself, get the interest yourself. If you give it to us, the state of Kansas is going to take your interest. Yeah. So
good advice. Good advice. And then I think the last question I see from our folks on the line, our families tonight, is from John. The work study funds need to be set up as a payment plan. So no, we already addressed that. That's kind of a separate piece there. So I think I'll bring in Alicia. Looks like you're good. Did you see any other comments, or I have one other question, but want to get these technical questions out of the way. So do you have anything else?
No, I think the biggest question that we have gotten over and over really is the housing payment in the same portal as the tuition payment, and are they able to see that all in the same place?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't. That was one of the things I was looking at there. If your student has housing charges, meal charges, those are now on the account. And the payment is the same. Payment place is the same. Now, in terms of payment plans, we automatically take their housing and then your meals, 2 separate line items, and we'll break them out into 4 monthly payments. So you'll see that down there at the bottom. If you click on make a payment, those are itemized charges down there, and you can pay them by month. So you'll see two payments for August 15th. That one will be your housing, one will be your meals. September 15th will be the same. October, November. You'll see 4 of them out there. So that's something you don't have to do. We just do it automatically on our end.
Perfect. And one of the things is what happens if my student misses their payments if they're on a payment plan?
The only thing that'll happen is they'll have a hold on their account. It will restrict registration for the next semester. Right.
And I think this is a really good reminder to share with families, because we always get, so August, September, October, your students are here for 3 months. In October, they begin to meet with their academic advisors to look at registration for that next term, which will happen in November. So if a student has a financial hold on their account that is $2,000 more, $2,000 or more, that financial hold will prevent them from being able to register for that next term, like Ryan said. And so it's really important to make sure that they're staying on top of those payment plans and coming up with a plan of what are they going to do if there is that gap. And that's something that I think Jang and I and Kim and Ryan were always talking with families about, is that a lot of times with the cost of tuition and fees and everything else, is that there's this gap that students will have between what they're receiving for scholarship and aid versus what's required for the families to have to pay out of pocket. Tuition and housing, my financial aid would have covered it. But now we're in a very different era where it's not the same. And so there is always that gap that we need to look at, and making sure, if your student is, if they selected a single private room in the resident hall, that cost significantly more than a triple shared space, and you're not sure how you're going to cover that cost, having a conversation with your student of this is not feasible at this moment and we need to look at other options, or coming up with that plan, right? I think, some of the things that Jane had talked about regarding budgeting 101, how do I budget and plan for the semester? A lot of times we hear families of like, well, my student doesn't have money to eat, blah blah blah, their account, we're charging them for that, but it's what they want to eat versus what they need to eat. And so we see a lot. I remember a family came up to Kim and I at orientation and was like, this was like their third student coming through, and one had used all of their dining dollars up at Starbucks, and they're like, we were constantly having to reload. And I said, well, is that a need or a want, right? And if they want it, then they need to get a job. And so in looking at what that requirement is, and then having them sit down with one of our financial counselors or coaches to talk about what does that look like. If I'm planning on living on campus or off campus, or I'm wanting to get, a vehicle. We have a lot of students who come and they want to get cars and pay a car payment. I'm having to pay insurance. I'm having to pay my payment plan. And so walking through what does that honestly look like for our students? Because if not, then we all get onto conversation with each other to see how we can help students meet their needs. So a lot of great resources that's been given to you tonight.
I want to take us back here, looking through the comments again. Jamie, who's on the program with us tonight, I think we only got half of your question. So you might want to go back in there. If you want to retype your question in the chat for us. I'm not sure. You're talking about somebody doesn't have availability to meet, I'm assuming, until August. I'm not sure who that is with potentially. So we can address that if we have a little bit more information there. And then a couple of more questions came in, or one more question came in. How do we qualify for a housing scholarship? Any information there?
Yeah. So when it comes to setting up appointments with our financial aid advisors, on our website, it shows them broken up by last names. But if the person that you're assigned to by last name doesn't have any availability, please go to the next person or contact us, because we're happy to help you and fit you in our schedule. We do have different options that are available for students. So as long as students are coming in having these conversations about how they're paying for their gap, there may be some options that we have for them as well. So.
Great. And you addressed my question because we talk a lot about with our students and our families at orientation about success teams. And some of your financial aid counselors are participating in those. And while they may not serve a specific academic college, you all are dividing those up by last name. So they would be assigned a person by last name. But I think as I know it happens with advising, as I know it happens with coaches, as I know it happens with financial aid, if you can't get into someone, you're always welcome to try to get in with another person. And if for some reason that other person is unavailable, they'll contact you and work with you. Because sometimes it just kind of depends on sometimes the week of how we're staffing our offices and different things over the course of the summer and throughout the academic year on who is available at what time. And if you really have an important question, you need to get in and see someone. And so someone else is often available to step in at that point. So they might not meet their specific assigned financial aid person at orientation, but they will definitely meet someone from financial aid in that success team. They're a really big, important part of that success team that is available to support you all through this process. So I think that is all. I don't see any more comments. I know, Alicia, you usually have some closing thoughts. We're right at time, so I'll turn it back over to you to wrap us up.
Yeah, so I just wanted to once again thank Ryan and Jane for joining us. I know there's a lot of frustrations out there, and at orientation, we try to tell parents we're going to deliver information to you in time when you need it. And if you were to try a week ago or 2 weeks ago to look online to see fee bills, they weren't there, like Ryan said. And so we are very intentional with a purpose and how we deliver information to make sure that you are needed. I understand my Wi-Fi is a little slow today. So I apologize for that, John. I apologize for that. I'm trying, buddy. But our information will stay live online, so feel free to go back and review it. Our information is out there, so at any time, like Kim said, and Jane and Ryan, that if you're trying to meet with someone and you're not able to, Ryan shared a very important, which I share all the time, is my kind of secret go-to place for all questions is wichita.edu/one-stop. At this website, you could type in, how do I set up a payment plan? How do I confirm my financial aid? How do I, set up proxy? It's going to give you a snapshot step by step on how to complete that. And if for some reason our lovely, I call it our shocker Google search, our internal knowledge base articles, if they're not able to answer the question, it's going to formulate a ticket that's going to be sent to the department that is in question. And then that individual or representative will get back with you to help resolve the issue. So if when in doubt, start there at wichita.edu/one-stop. It's truly a one-stop shop for everything Wichita State. Our folks have done a phenomenal job of keeping those knowledge base articles up to date. And it's very helpful just for those in-time questions, 365, 7 days a week, year round. Kim?
I just wanted to highlight one more website. We do also get a lot of questions about, what does this fee mean? What does this fee pay for? Why do I have this one line? I'm a this major, but I'm a paying a that fee and that kind of thing. So if you go to wichita.edu/tuition fees, and you click on the little hamburger section menu, you can look at how the college and department fees, you can look at other department fees, other tuition and fees. So it's all really defined there. So if you have a question on a line item or something you're seeing on your bill and you're unsure of what that is, you can visit that wichita.edu/tuition fees, and it gives you that breakdown, so it can kind of help you interpret what you're seeing on your bill. So I just wanted to bring that one up too. I use that one a lot, probably because I've been here a long time and I'm used to that one, and I've been going there for years. So I'm sure One Stop probably has the same thing, but that's just another good one to bookmark if you have questions. So that's it.
All right. So our final thing before we say good night, we have two winners for our lovely Shocker Family tumbler that we'll be sending in the mail tonight. And so our first winner is Keith Common, and our second one is Maria Arevalo. And so Maria and Keith will be getting one of our lovely tumblers sent to you in the mail. So be on the lookout for an email from us so we can collect some information to you. But again, if you have any questions at all throughout either your student's journey, their process, do not hesitate to shoot me an email, find us online, connect with us. If you've not already connected and joined our Shocker Family. The next one that is coming up is next Tuesday. and that is going to be on your for first generation students. And so what resources specifically are available for our first gen students? And then our last one is on July 30th. And so I really want to say this again, July 30th. We will have housing online. Mark your calendars, because next to this, it's what is the bed size for my student's bed? What is the closet size? What can I bring? What can I not bring? All of those questions are going to be answered during that live with our Housing and Residence Live folks. If you have questions about, today we talked about proxy, we talked about authorized user, we talked about a little bit, making sure students are checking their schedule. Our previous live was on your Shocker Parent Access in Textbooks. And so go back to our YouTube page to check out that stream, because a lot of really good step-by-step on how to walk through that and making sure that you're getting the access that you need to help your students be successful. So with that in mind, we look forward to joining you next Tuesday for our first gen families. And if, again, you have any questions between now and then, do not hesitate to drop us a note. We are on standby to help you every step of the way. Thanks for joining us, and have a great weekend, and stay cool. It's a little hot outside. So, all right. Thanks for joining us, and have a good night. Bye-bye.